Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second episode of the Chat Podcast. And here we have a very special guest today, Mrs. Moses. So, Mrs. Moses, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Mrs. Moses. I am the School Counseling Director here at PPCHS.
So, today we will be discussing all about picking schedules. And because course cards are due around soon, and I know a lot of people have in mind what classes they should take, and they're asking their friends, all this, and it is like, especially with it being online, it's a lot harder. So, we hope this podcast, we can hopefully reach out to students and hopefully comfort them a little with the information that we can give. So, Alex, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, no. So I was just gonna add, yeah, definitely, because of it being online and there's so many choices now. It's just, the organization, it's a bit different from all the other years. So I just want to know about like how one student can choose out of all of these. What would be their best choice and what courses they should focus on for their school career.
So obviously their top choices and what they should focus on first are their academic courses. So usually those are pretty much a given. For example, if you are taking English 1 honors, then the natural progression is going to be English 2 honors, unless you want to now advance and challenge yourself and maybe break into like an ACE or AP class, for example. So in that aspect, we want students to really reach out to your teachers. That is your number one person to have a discussion with, and they know you best. They know your work, they know what you can produce, what you're capable of, your skills, and so that will be the best person to help you in selecting the next best course for you.
Yeah, I know a lot of teachers. Like I know my teacher for Ace Marine Science, Mr. Capella, tomorrow, he's going to be discussing course cards, and even some teachers invite the teachers of like the next level course, invite them to your class they can discuss. So a few days ago in Mrs. Taylor's class, Mrs. Phelps came to our class to talk about like AP Lit and ACE Lit A level. So
That's
Mrs. Moses,
wonderful.
um, there are actually, I remember during the presentation, Ms. Maycock talked about new courses. Can you elaborate on those different courses that you have and why Charter started offering them?
So yes, we have quite a few new courses. So we are starting a criminal justice operations program. This one is a very interesting course because it actually is coming from the Pembroke Pines Police Department. And so they want to almost create like a partnership between the police department and schools to really expose students into the criminal justice field. And so this course, if we're able to offer it and enough students sign up, then we can end up offering a second and third level. As the students get to the third level or beyond, then there are classes that they can take through Broward College. And so there's a track for even like a 911 operator, and you can kind of get a head start on that. So it's a pretty cool program, and we want to offer that so that not only it creates a partnership between our city police department. We're a city run charter school, so it's just a very natural partnership that students can really learn more about that field, and if they're interested, it could really take them into their future in a future career path. We also have marketing. Miss Ferrer, and I'm not sure if a lot of you know, but she actually started her career in business. I believe she even owned her own business at one point. So this is really her passion, even though she's our foreign language teacher. Business is really her passion. So she wanted to venture out and offer and teach a course in marketing. So we have two courses, one for the lower levels, 9th and 10th grade, and then one for 11th and 12th grade. And so the marketing, it really just gives you a good scope into advertising and what that world is like and how to market a product selling and marketing and research. And there's so many things that go into marketing and marketing a product. And so she's going to be using a program called V Enterprises. And this is a really, really, VE Enterprises. And this is a really, really cool curriculum because there's many other schools in the country that have this. And so what students will do is they're going to basically have create a corporation. And so every student group will be, the finance department or the accounting department or the marketing department. And then you connect with all of these other schools and you kind of, you're basically like in a business world. So you learn business and marketing, but on a hands-on type of level. So we're excited to offer that, of course. Then we have the African American history course with women's studies. And, the reason is because we want to offer things that are more contemporary to our students. And so some of our social studies teachers got together and decided that they wanted to offer something like this. So it's going to go into, African kingdoms and the Atlantic slave trade and, the Civil War. And, it's going to go into all of these aspects of that part of our history. Along with the women's studies, it's just kind of like, how women have come such a long way throughout history. And then finally, we have the Latin American studies, which again, it's just something that is relevant, culturally speaking, for a lot of our students to learn about that part of our history.
Okay. No, I've always been amazed by like the sheer amount of options that a student has. Like you said, just depending on the career you want, right? So if I wouldn't go into policing, it's just something new that you're giving this year or next year,
For next
right?
year, yes.
Next year.
Yes,
So then,
next year.
yeah. And then so I had a different option. I could go to like a different school, but I chose this school specifically because there's so many options. You can just like basically decide, hey, do I want to try out maybe, I don't know, policing or programming? There's so many options that it's, sometimes it's overwhelming. And of course, that's why we have counselors. And I've just always been amazed. And I mean, thank you so much for just guiding us basically into what we want for our futures. And then I was also going to ask, what happens if you're not really sure about what you want? Like, what could a student decide basically on what to choose for? I don't know, maybe the freshman, their first year, or their second year even.
So if you are a student and you are just a little bit lost, or you really need some guidance on how to select your classes, what to select, what's the best combination of classes, I would suggest to schedule a one-on-one meeting with your school counselor. You could do this with your parent there. You can do this just with yourself and your counselor. But, in past years, the school counseling department really prides ourselves in being able to have one-on-one conversations. A lot of students don't need it. They know they've mapped out their 4 years and they're ready to go. But some students do need that one-on-one. And so we have done that every year when we have been in person during course selection time. The counselors will set aside about 2-3 weeks where it's really just course selection meetings one-on-one with the students. So if you are in that position, schedule a meeting. It may, and a lot of times students get scared because, it's a lot of students, it's one counselor, and many times the meeting date, you may not get it until after course selection cards are due. So that is fine. Don't worry. If you're holding on to it because you need to meet with your counselor first before you turn it in, that is not a problem. A big misconception with students is that I have to be the first one to turn in my card because that will guarantee that I get my classes. And that is a very big misconception. It doesn't work that way. We don't start working on putting the schedules together until the summertime. So we can even wait until, May or June, if that's when you finally, get around to having an appointment to turn in your course card. That is not, it's not going to affect if you get first dibs on your first choices.
And I love how you have all these options because I feel like high school is a great time to explore what you're interested in. And with all these options, students are able to explore, okay, maybe I want to get into criminal justice. If you don't like it, okay, maybe you can take the business class next year, or you can take the computer science, the cybersecurity. I know we've been offering that recently. And like for me, for example, I've always been interested in science. And I took AP Bio in 10th grade, and that was honestly like such a fulfilling experience because it kind of like confirmed for me that this is the field I want to get into. I want to do something. I want to be like maybe a scientist or something in STEM. So, but also just remember to like balance out with what you have. You don't want to be taking a bunch of AP and ACE classes if you know you won't put in the time, or you have like other clubs, extracurriculars, and sports.
Exactly, Julian. And one more thing that I do want to add is, we are a college prep school. And a lot of our students, that is their track, that is what they're going to do. And a lot of you are going off to a 4-year university. And a lot of these programs that we're offering now have, certification attached to them. So for example, the criminal justice one has certifications. These are called industry certifications, right? You can actually get certifications through these programs, same as the cybersecurity. The marketing will have certifications in the future, maybe after the first year. And so what students can do with these certifications, it's not like we're telling you, get these certifications, get a job, and don't go to college. The rationale is get certifications. So for example, with cybersecurity, if you do 4 years of cybersecurity, you can get a ton of like programming and cybersec certifications under your belt. You can graduate high school, get a job with those certifications while putting yourself through school. And now you have built-in experience. So when you graduate college with your degree, you go to a job and you say, yes, I have my degree, but not only that, I also have years of experience because I've been working with the certifications I earned in high school. So that's the rationale behind these things.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I mean, I was actually for this year, I'm taking the engineering, same thing, like the certification for that. And I was thinking, well, so going back to what Julian was saying, he was saying, so don't try and go for too many APs or ACE, because there is the option to graduate early if you want. There is the option to take dual enrollment as well, which you can get the AA degree, which also shortens the amount of time you're in college. But so what happens for students that are really pushing it? They really want to take all A's and APs. What do you think about that? Should they really just do it, or should they just first few years, just focus on trying to get used to high school or find whatever they want for their careers?
Well, that's a very personal question, Alex. I think that whatever, as a person, as a student, is going to help you be the most successful, right? So if you are a student who can take, all APs and ACE, and all you do is school, and you have the time to just focus on school and study and read ahead and all of that, but we have a lot of students who, are athletes or have extracurricular activities. So these are things that you have to take into consideration, because having a lot of college level classes requires a lot of time. And so either you're going to make the time, or if you don't really have a lot of time because you have extracurriculars, then you have to say to yourself, okay, well, maybe I can create some type of balance. Because really, think about what your goal is. What is your goal of taking a lot of AP and ACE? It's to have like the highest GPA possible, right? So that you can get into, the college of your dreams. So with that goal in mind, if you are taking a good balance of, maybe even some honors and then AP ACE, you are going to have a high GPA. So, you're taking these classes, you're getting prepared so that you get the highest score on your SATs as well. And all of this is going to combine to get you into college. So is a college going to look at your transcript at the end and say, you took 4 APs instead of 6? No, they're not going to do that. Okay. So as long as you are keeping your goal in mind and just making sure that your GPA is the highest that you can have it, it's not necessary to take all AP and ACE. A lot of students worry about their rank. That's a big thing as well. Colleges take a look at rank, they see where you stand within your class, but is that going to be like a make or break, right? Your sanity and your mental wellness is more important than anything else.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when I was in ninth grade, I had the option to take ACE Math or Pre-Cal, and I already planned out that I was going to take AP Bio. And I didn't know if I wanted to take Pre-Cal or ACE Math, and I heard since ACE Math is a ACE class and Pre-Cal is just an honors course, I was like, if I take Pre-Cal, I'm going to have a lower GPA. But the thing is, Pre-Cal is a lot less work than ACE Math, while ACE Math is a lot more rigorous. And I was thinking, do I sacrifice my my GPA or my mental health? And ultimately, I chose to prioritize my mental health, and that's what I give. That's my biggest tip, to prioritize your mental health. So I decided to take Pre-Cal and AP Bio, and honestly, that was a great decision because I know a lot of students during AP Bio, I saw them stressing about ACE Math because they had after an AP Bio test, they had an ACE Math test the next day, and they were stressing out all about it. And I was like, I'm kind of glad I took Pre-Cal instead because it's less rigorous.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh.
So I mean, it's really just a balance. It's a balance, and we have to make sure, because really, what is the point of taking all AP ACE classes? You get overwhelmed, you have a breakdown, and now you're failing. Well, that's not the point either, and it's not working towards your goal, which is to get into college. So, and I would say if you do find yourself in a situation where you did decide to take a lot of higher level classes and now you are overwhelmed and it's the middle of the year, you can't really get a schedule change, what did I do to myself? Please talk to your counselor. There are, many things that we can't control in life, but school is definitely one of them. We can have a conversation with your teachers, maybe get some extensions, maybe, have some flexibility. There are things that we can do and that teachers are always willing to do to help you out. So please reach out to someone if you do find yourself in that situation ever.
Yeah. No, I've felt that before, where it's there's so much, and you have sometimes I used to have especially, well, I mean, not online, but when I was actually physically in the school, I would feel oh, I have this test in the morning and then I have another test in the afternoon. And then you feel but what am I doing this for? What's the point? If I'm not doing well, then why do it at all? But sometimes there's also this idea that you have to do as much as you can for not only colleges, but just a reputation or something that you look good with your friends and stuff. But especially like Julian said, mental health is the most important thing that you have to focus on. Because even if you do go to college, right? Yeah. If you go to college, you're going to have the same mentality and you're not going to last. You have to focus on first worrying about your own personal health, maybe even physical, especially now that we're online, we can't really go outside that much. Before all of this academic stuff that you can potentially do, but you have to also question if it's good for you at all. So that's also important. And I was also going to ask, since I was talking about dual enrollment earlier, for students that are not taking that, are they missing out on anything at all?
I wouldn't say they're missing out. Dual enrollment is just another option. So if you're taking AP, you're taking ACE, these are college level classes. Broward College classes are college level classes. So these are just options that students have to just be able to have more to choose from. And with Broward College and dual enrollment, it's really just a personal preference. We have students that have, you know, graduated and gone on to amazing colleges and never did dual enrollment. It just didn't interest them. They rather just do, you know, college courses here on campus. So it's really just a matter of preference, and it's about just giving you all additional choices.
And I think a great way to learn about classes is also like emailing the teachers themselves. So like Mrs. HD, if you want to take AP Bio, since Mrs. HD is the AP Bio teacher, you can email her, and with other classes too. And that's like a great way to learn about the class since they're the actual teachers. And I think it's also important to like, if you know any students taking that class right now, it's also important to ask them. And also most importantly, I think right now with like the kind of environment we're in, to ask how is it online? Because the future is uncertain. We don't know if we're going to be in person or online next year. So you should ask how is it online, because classes can be very different and have a very different environment when they're online and in person. Like for AP Bio, I know I keep bringing that class up, but I know AP Bio with like sciences, there's a lot of experiments. And I remember last year in AP Bio, one of the experiments was like a molarity experiment with sodium chloride and potatoes. And honestly, like doing that experiment honestly helped me like understand, like get the bigger picture of the concept more. But with it being online, you obviously can't do those experiments. So it might be a little bit different from online and in person.
That's a great point, Julian.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I was just gonna I have so many questions, you know. Maybe hopefully this helps anyone who's listening. So you know, for the people that are focusing on more like sports and anything that could help them for college selection, it's fine to take honors and whatever's necessary in order to focus on their career choice, but um, like you said, it's more of just an optional thing, and it won't really affect anyone if you don't take that many APs or ACE. But something that's like, for example, ACE, the Cambridge diploma, do you gain sort of like an advantage over those that are like not doing it? So what are the details basically for the ACE diploma?
That's a great question. So again, the ACE Cambridge program is just another path. Nothing is really giving you an advantage over another. Again, colleges are looking at your GPA, your SAT, ACT scores, and the amount of rigor of the classes that you took in high school. So when you're talking about the Cambridge diploma, it's really just what type of learner are you? A student who does better with just memorization and multiple choice, AP might be better. You know, with ACE, you're really getting deep into the material. You're really, you know, analyzing, and you know, it's a lot of critical thinking, and you're having discussions, and it's a lot of writing. A lot of these, you know, ACE exams, you're getting the little blue book, and you're just writing, right? It's just a question, and that's it. Your answer is just writing. There's no multiple choice. So it's really about what type of student and what type of learner you are that's going to dictate what you choose. Because if you don't like to write and you just rather memorize facts and just, you know, put them back out onto a Scantron sheet, then maybe, you know, AP is best. And then, you know, sometimes you can do a combination. If you're obviously going for ACE diploma, then you're going to be focusing on taking, you know, the ACE classes to fulfill those 7 groups. And you could certainly throw in some AP in there if you have the space and whatnot. But you know, a combination of AP and ACE, depending on what your interests are and what subjects you're better skilled at, will be fine.
And with personal experience with ACE, I've never been like the best writer, but after taking like a lot of ACE classes and you write a lot, it has honestly made me a better writer, even though it's been challenging. And that's just like a long-term effect of taking the Cambridge track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good point.
You did answer my question about like the difference between AP and ACE, and right, there's no really college difference. They view them equally, right? Is that does that apply to all colleges, or does it just really depend on on the college you're viewing?
I think for the most part, it's pretty status quo. Sometimes you do hear about some out-of-state schools. It's, very specific type of schools that don't really recognize the ACE program. You hear rumors about that. So that would be a conversation that you could have with our brace advisor, Ms. Fernandez. She's really kind of like on the beat with many different schools, private, smaller schools, the out-of-state schools who, may or may not really identify and acknowledge those classes, but those are very rare cases. So again, for the most part, just do your best. Okay, really analyze your skills, really analyze what you're good at, what you like, what are your interests, what subjects really bring out the best in you. It's okay to, if you're not that strong in math, it's okay to keep that at a regular or honors level, as long as you challenge yourself in other areas, right? That's what we call like a lopsided student. And colleges really do understand, and they recognize that. They know that students have their strengths and the areas where they're not so strong.
So does anyone have anything else they'd like to say?
Well, no, not anything specific anymore. I kind of ran out of questions.
Sorry, I
but
have to plug in my laptop. It's gonna die on me. Sorry. This is a
Don't
really
worry.
bad angle, guys. It's okay. We know technology these days, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's helped us in these times, right?
Yes, it has.
Yeah. But no, so I was going to say I really kind of just ran out of questions, something specific. Not really. I wanted to make sure. So how do students actually apply these courses? How do they put them in? Where do they look for what classes, like what are they looking at specifically? Where do they go?
Okay, so the directions are still the same. There you will go to the PPCHS 9 through 12 school counseling course on Canvas. Everybody should have it on their dashboard. You will scroll down, you look for the course selection icon. You'll click on that, and then it's by grade level. So everything says rising. So whatever grade you're going into, that's what you're rising into. I know that's kind of like a weird term. So you'll look for your respective grade. You will open that module up. The course card will be there. You will download the course card. It should download as a Word document, and then you will obviously type your name on it. You will highlight the courses that you want in yellow. You will type in your alternates. Make sure that your parent types in their name as their signature acknowledgement. You will save it, and then you will upload it back into the same module as an assignment. And that's it. You're done.
Thank you very much. So I think that's all we have for today. Thank you, Mrs. Moses, for coming in today. You gave a lot of good information, and so thank you so much for coming. And
Thank you, Ms. Moses.
Thank you so much for having me.
And so we'll see you next time for our next episode. And so bye, everyone.
Goodbye. Hope you
Bye.
join us again next time.
Bye.
Bye, Jaguars.